Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my Cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, back with another episode of RealiTEA, and that's TEA because I give it to you scalding hot. So grab your cups, grab your saucers, gather round, and let's all partake in this libation of Only Cabo tea. But before you go another further, do yourself a favor and do me a solid. Take a second and hit that subscribe button. And once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your alerts. And that way you will be kept in the loop. All right, so we're 4 episodes deep into Only Cabo. It's 4 or is it 5? Somewhere around there. I didn't even make a video last week just because last week's episode really wasn't review worthy in my opinion. With the exception of Kamani's sort of face planting last week, there wasn't a whole lot that happened to me that was really noteworthy. So I forgoed last week's review. So anyhow, this episode picks up where that one left off, and that's with Kamani. She was on the four-wheeler, and she was trying to show off for Agu, and unfortunately she got hurled over the handlebars. And it looked pretty scary, but it was some sort of surface injuries, nothing major, nothing was broken. So I think her ego was probably bruised more so than anything else. So we see Kamani on the mend. And this episode primarily centered around Larry and Bianca's ambiguous relationship. Like, I can't make sense of what's going on for the life of me. And I try to be. I am a free thinker. I believe love is love. So I try not to judge situations. But this sort of ambiguity in terms of their relationship is just so puzzling to me. Because like this whole episode they spent using these sort of gender neutral, gender non-specific pronouns. Them, they, theirs, someone, somebody. When they're talking about Larry's possible love interest. So before I go there, so it's Bianca's birthday, and Bianca is sort of talking about how she makes a big deal out of Larry's birthday every year, and she's hoping that being that they're in the same location, he'll return the favor this year for her. So Larry goes out to buy Bianca this ring that she'd seen on another excursion that they had gone on previously, and all of the guys, Malaku, Jermaine, Agu, sort of corner Larry and say, wait a minute, are you sure you want to give her a ring? Because you're sort of sending her mixed signals. Now, to me, I don't think he's sending her mixed signals because the fact that they sleep in separate bedrooms is probably the greatest indicator that his interest in her is not genuine. So if any man that calls himself, quote unquote, is interested in me, and we're in a beautiful tropical location like Cabo in this magnificent home, and he puts me in a separate bedroom, to me, that's all the signal I need. This man is clearly not interested in me, so I don't care if he gives me a ring. I don't care if I wake up and his penis is laying on my forehead. This man does not want me, would be the logical conclusion that I would come to. So anyhow, they're going back and forth, and to that point, I think that whatever Larry's sexual orientation may be, Bianca has clearly had some resolution there. She's fine with it. And one of the things that I find really interesting about this is because I think as a society we're very critical on women who date bisexual men. But when you look at shows like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, pretty much any reality TV show that you can think of, bisexuality for women is sort of exploited to some degree, and we see it happen over and over. None of us are critical of the guys who date these women who sleep with other women, but for some reason, if it's another girl who's sleeping with a bisexual man, we definitely sort of raise our eyebrow and kind of give her a, girl, what are you doing? So Bianca, for whatever reason, I guess she's progressive, and if that's her thing, if she's okay with that, then so be it. The part that's troubling for me is that people just it hasn't been addressed yet. And, watching the show and trying to pretend like there's this romantic tension between the two of them when it clearly is not, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's disingenuous. It does a disservice to the show as a whole. Just say, look, he likes guys, he likes girls. To me, if I were to judge him, I would definitely say on the Kinsley scale, he's leaning more towards gay than bi. and I'm speaking specifically of Larry, and that's fine. I have absolutely no issue with that. I just don't like this whole sort of baiting me into, or trying to bait us into believing that there's this tension between Larry and Bianca when clearly there isn't. So after the guys sort of talked to Larry about this ring and sort of warning him that giving this ring to Bianca is going to send her mixed signals, he sort of has this moment where he asks the guys, well, you guys are so focused on this relationship between me and Bianca that none of you have asked me if I'm really in love with someone. Here's that someone, those gender non-specific words that they keep dropping. So the guys don't really push Larry on this because they want to give him the space to be forthcoming at his own tempo. And Larry doesn't, disclose any information. He walks out the room, and that's that. But in another scene subsequent to that, we hear Malaku say, well, as far as I know, the only person on the West Coast that I knew of was someone named Corey. Someone. So Corey could be a guy or it could be a girl. Once again, that name is sort of gender neutral as well. So it's just like, oh my God, why couldn't it be like a Jamal or a Jabbar or Hakeem or, like just some name that definitively this is a dude. And that way we would know. So I'm just waiting for them to finally just put it on the table. Look, Larry is bi. Larry is gay. Larry is, I don't know, whatever title he wants to put on himself. And maybe he just doesn't want to have a title. And if that's the case, that's fine. But at the very least, can we just address the fact that he clearly is pansexual or open to, whatever life throws his way. And that's cool. But I just really don't like trying to buy into that, the way they're trying to get us to buy into this fallacy that there's this love triangle between Larry, Bianca, and whomever this X Factor is. So that was pretty much it that happened. And there was more stuff with Kamani and Agu. Kamani is wearing my nerves thin. To me, Kamani has what I call PGS, and that's perfect girl syndrome. She wants to be perfect so bad that this desire for perfection is what turns guys off. Agu is definitely not a perfect guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely trying to show her that he has a genuine interest in getting to know her. But for whatever reason, her narcissism and her ego are sort of impeding her ability to be open to him. So she, for whatever reason, wants to pretend like she's this great prize and she's going to make him jump through hoops and work for her attention. And I get that to some degree, but also he seems like a really genuine guy who's trying to make an effort to get to know him. But if you keep playing this role, then you're going to turn him off. So, I'm sort of over that dynamic as well. I don't know. I'm trying desperately to like the show, but I just think that so much of the show is fabricated and hyperbolic to the degree that it's just like it's not believable for me. So anyhow, you guys, I don't want to drag this review out any longer than necessary, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this week's episode of Only Cabo. If you've been watching, definitely comment below. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And as always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day.